Question of the day: what is your favorite scoring mechanic? Period. Could be anything, right? Could be like between two cities where you score two different cities and you get to keep the points for your lowest city, therefore enabling you to obviously have to build up both of those equally on both sides, right? Or what about a card game? You know, for instance, there you only score a certain type of card that you have in your place depending on how many you have, or if you have the most, you actually get to score points for that no matter who has it. Today, that brings us to an interesting game that is all about scoring, all about building a perfect hotel. I know something about hotels a little bit because Carl and I are in hotels about 150 nights a year, and it gets crazy sometimes, but you know what? Let's take a look right now at the perfect hotel from White Goblin Games. See how this card game plays about building the perfect, you guessed it, hotel right now. Here is the setup for Perfect Hotel. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to get two cards to start with. You have two to start with, and then you're going to have two actions you can play on your turn. You're playing for points. The points are really cute because they are keys with the number down below them for the actual, like, you know, thing that turns a key, whatever. On your turn, you can either research, which means draw two more cards and discard one out of your hand. Doesn't have to be one of the ones you just drew. So that would be the research action. Or you can build. And when you build, you can take cards from your hand and cards out here in the general supply, and you can add them to your floors. The way that works is, let's just say I have a good bit of cards of the same number right here. So let's just say I have a good bit of 8s right there. So that's 3 8s. You have to have a minimum of 2. But let's say I have 3 8s. On my turn, I can either take the 8s from my hand, let's say one's out there, and play all my 8s, so 1, 2, 3, 4, because you can take them from the general supply. The only rule is if you take the cards from the general supply, you have to take all the cards from there, including tourist cards, which is a problem. These are -3 if they're in your hand over here or on your hotel, but it's worth it because it counts as a wild card in your tableau. So now I have a floor of 8s that's 4 wide. Now, if you want to build more 8s, this is the only time you can do it is before you put another floor on top. If you were to put a floor of 5s on top, well, then that shuts it off. You're no longer going to be able to expand your 8s. You are then looking to score based on majority. So at the end of the game, you're going to score 5s. If you're the person that has the most 5s, you get 5 points, minus if you have a tourist on that floor. If you're the person that has the most 8s, you're going to get 8 points. And it goes up like that. You get points per floor that you have the most in. If you tie with someone, you and that person don't split anything. You just get a point per card you have in that floor. Once again, you can only have one of each floor type in your hotel. There are 3 bonus tiles: person with the tallest hotel, person with the highest hotel, person with the tallest hotel, person with the biggest top floor, and then a minus if you only have 1, 2, or 3 types of numbers in your hotel. That's how the game is played. You do that 3 times, and then you find out who has the most points, aka keys, at the end of the game. So that's it. Pretty simple game, right? You can only do one of two things. You can either draw cards to research and then put one out there, or you can build. And obviously building is pretty straightforward as well. Not a lot to talk about here other than the fact that how do we like this as a whole, right? First of all, let's talk about that scoring mechanic. I like that scoring mechanic in games like this and Arboretum. Ironically, I got this around the same time I got Arboretum, so it was fun to see that mechanic, even though these games are produced 2 totally different places, totally different times, use a similar mechanic of you get to score this if you're the only one. So it's a majorities concept done with a card game. So Perfect Hotel does it pretty neat. I like the idea of building, and you can actually add on to your floor if and only if it's the only set of 6s or 5s or 7s or 9s in your hotel. So I like that concept as well. All in all, neat little game, fun little tight game. It does go too long, I will say that though. There is the fact that you have to play it for 3 rounds all the way around 3 times. It goes too long, so if you could trim this or play it in 1 round or so, or 1 round or 2 rounds for that matter, you'd get the same effect. It just is a little bit too long, but I do like it. It's a neat little game. Cool if you like games that involve somewhat spatial element, not a whole lot, but also some unique scoring mechanics. And definitely go see if you can get your hands on a copy of Perfect Hotel. Also, thin Small, it's good for playing in a hotel, which is nice. Works on 2 levels. I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dice Tower Brian for more videos, reviews, painting how-tos, overviews, all that sort of stuff here on the Dice Tower. Until next time, I'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.